So this is the killer flashbang tier list. This is basically, I'm ranking killers that are basically easy to flashbang save against versus killers that are like damn near annoying as fuck to run a flashbang build against. So, a little disclaimer, as I'm doing this tier list, this is assuming the player is healthy, assuming the killer is good, and I'm basically going off of killer power, info knowledge, and basically, if you get caught, how fast you would go down. So that's basically the idea of this tier list. Okay, so first on the list, Trapper. I mean, he's your ideal M1 killer. It's easy to get flashbang saves on him, no matter what. You know, if you get caught, oh, so well. There is like the rare chance of his stepping into like a random ass trap if you're going for a flashbang save. So that's like the only reason he would be like somewhat up there, but as of right now, he's D. And then Wraith, obviously below Trapper. He's fully M1, his power doesn't help him avoid anything or have any info whatsoever. This is solely off of killer power. I'm not doing any builds or any add-ons at all. So any perks to see aura or any add-ons to see aura is not included in this tier list. This is killer power and killer power only. Billy, pretty easy to flashbang save against, but if you get caught using a chainsaw, he's insta-down and he can catch it pretty quick. So just because of that reason, I'm putting him in C. He's not impossible to get a flashbang save against, but then again, if you do get caught, you can get insta-down. So he's damn near mid, high C. And then Nurse is pretty much the same idea with Billy. If you get caught, it's quick chase, but it's not insta-down, so that's why I'm gonna put Nurse below Billy, because again, not impossible to get flashbang saves against her. It's all a matter if you get caught or not. Myers is kinda 50-50. I would say Myers is low C, high D. He has the ability to pop tier 3 and like insta down you if you do get caught. He's an M1 killer. He's not gonna have a kit that has crazy knowledge on where people are prepping for a save. He doesn't have crazy chase power, but he's insta down. Chat, what do you think? I feel like he's high D. I'm gonna put him high D for now, just because his chase isn't insane, but he's M1, and just because he has the chance to insta-down you, that's why I'm putting him in high D and not C. He's not up to par with Billy and Nurse when it comes to getting caught and then, you know, basically becoming a quick chase. But moving on to Hag. Hag is the same with Trapper. It's like the low-end chance of getting caught with a phantasm trap, but flashbanging against Hag is not impossible. Just because of the rare chance of getting caught with a trap that can give info on where people are, and just because of that, or actually, I'm gonna put her ahead of Trapper. Actually, no, right here. The reason why I'm putting Hag above everybody else in D tier is because she has the possibility of gaining info based off of her traps. If someone triggers a trap and you're not running, so this is assuming with no add-ons, right? Someone activates the trap, you hear the trap go off, you know where that survivor is, so it's good info to see if anybody's like roaming around for a flashbang save. That's why I think she's high D tier, but not crazy info though. And if you get caught, you get caught. Her chase isn't crazy, like one of the most weakest chases in the game, so not too crazy. But Doctor on the other hand is definitely up here, high B, I would say. His shock is pretty insane when it comes to info, such as his like major shock or like his small little pulse shock. He can check the area really fucking easily to see if people are around for a save. The best counter against flashbanging on a Doctor is basically being in a locker already before he even shocks. That's how insane his info is, and he can detect people if anybody's coming in for a save really easily. So because of his strong info, that's why I put him in B, but his chase isn't too insane once again. Like, if you get caught, you can still buy time and get away. So that's why he's not A. So that's why I put him in B. Huntress, she's ranged. If you do get caught, there is the potential 2-tap, but not entirely difficult to bang save against. Definitely D tier. I don't think she doesn't have the best info when it comes to base killer kit power. So because of that, I'm putting Huntress below Hag and above Myers. Sure, Myers is insta down, but Huntress has range, and you can't beat range with M1. Range is always gonna be better than that in that field. Bubba on the other hand, hear me out, chat. Bubba, low C. Let me explain why. Bubba is low C because if you decide to go for a flashbang save, obviously, if you get caught, he revs chainsaw, he gains speed, he's insta-down. He's not as strong as Billy when it comes to speed, but he is insta-downable. Again, not impossible to get a flashbang save against Bubba, but his chase is way more punishing than every killer in D tier, so that's my placement for him. Freddy can get some insane info if he sends snares to where he thinks people could be lurking for a save, but his chase is a lot better from the rework, but I don't know if he's as good as these killers in C tier. So far, I agree with it all. Hell yeah, that's what I like to see. So back to Freddy. Freddy has snares. Snares make you scream, therefore giving viable, good info. And if you get caught, you know, you're hindered as well. But he has to predict where you are with snare. And because of the lack of aerial information, I'd say he's like here. The reason why I put him above Bubba is because he has info. Bubba has no info of, you know, finding people around him before picking up. Right, he just has to be paranoid and look around. Freddy can actually send snares and possibly get some info out of that, whether it's putting somebody in the dream state or making somebody scream. So that's why I put Freddy there. Pig on the other hand, hear me out, chap. So Pig's definitely D tier, without a doubt. The thing with Pig, she can mind game a pickup. She can mind game a pickup with not just putting a trap on somebody's head, but if you crouch on a survivor, then uncrouch, basically baiting them to come out, thinking that they're picking. It's a really good mind game to pull off, and I've seen Pigs do it a lot. I don't know if she's higher than Hag though, just because Hag has better info. So because of that, I'm putting Pig right below Hag and above Huntress, just because she has the ability to mind game a pickup. But then again, her chase isn't that punishing if you do get caught. So far, I think this is good. Now Clown has insane info, but not too punishing of a chase. But then again, you can get two-tapped if you get caught going for a bane save. He can throw a bottle and basically get info if you try to go for a save. Like, he throws bottle, picks, and then he can get info from there. Not only can he get info, but he can also hinder you to possibly not making it in time for the flashbang save. And because of that, I'm putting him right below Doctor. He's definitely mid-tier when it comes to countering flashbang users with his info on his bottles. So because of that, he's B tier, right below Doctor. Insane, not insane info, but really, really good info in general. Spirit, not insane chases. Or sorry. Insane chases, but not insane info. So if you do get caught, you do have the ability to get away, but then again, it's Spirit. You might get two-tapped in the process. And generally, Spirit has a better chase than both of these killers in C. Because of that, I'm putting her right above Freddy and Bubba, just because her chase is insane. I don't think her chase is better than Spirit. No, sorry. I don't think her chase is better than Nurse and Billy, though. That's why we're putting her in between. Now, Legion. Legion is a tough one. It really depends if he's in Frenzy or not. And if he is in Frenzy, it depends if he already put a survivor in the deep wound state. Because once you put a survivor in the deep wound state, you have info on everybody that is within your range through heartbeat, and because of that, you can get insane info. But let's be real here, chat. Let's be real. When are you ever gonna get detected by heartbeat read knowing that Legion is in his power? Or realistically, when will you go for a save if you know Legion's in his power? Pretty much like 9 times out of 10, you're not going for that shit. So he's definitely D tier, but he has the possibility of good info, but not as good info as Hag. So because of that, I'm putting him right here in between Pig and Hag. Makes the most sense for me. And now Plague. For those of you that watch me on stream and I use Flashbang against Plague, you know how much I fucking hate playing against Plague with Flashbang? Dude, the shit's annoying. Plague basically counters every single Flashbang user. Like, without a doubt. You're injured 24/7. Not only are you injured 24/7, you make constant fucking noise, bro. The fucking like the coughing and the throwing up, bro. You're constantly coughing and throwing up. You cannot be silent against Plague, period. And because of that, you have constant info on where the survivors are, and because of that, she's just high B, bro. Running Flashbang against Plague is the most annoying thing ever. But it's not impossible. It's not impossible. It's definitely still possible, but it's really fucking hard. It's really fucking hard and really annoying to run Flashbang against Plague. So, because of that insane info, and because you're one tap pretty much every single time, it's pretty rare to get a Flashbang save against Plague, realistically. So that's why she's high B. Better than these two. Plague just has constant info versus Doc and Clown having to... With Clown, he's having to reload bottles. With Doc, he has a cooldown on his Mega Shock, and then his Little Shock is, you know, he has to aim it somewhere. Plague, you know where they are 24/7. If they're around you, you're gonna hear them 24/7, no, without a doubt. Some survivors cleanse or don't touch infected gens to be able to do... Yeah, exactly. And you're like... The killer is basically getting added time because you're deciding to cleanse and play for save. It's a big time waster. It's such a big time waster. So Plague is like a really fucking good counter against Flashbang users. Alright, moving on to Ghostface. He's an M1 killer, but he can insta down. He's basically better than Myers in the tier list. So just because of that, he's basically Myers, just better. So he's just gonna go right above Myers. Not impossible to Flashbang save against. The only punishment is possibly getting insta-downable, but he's M1, so nothing too insane. Alright, so Demogorgon. Demo is actually the same with Pig. You can fake a pickup with Demo if you fake a portal placement. If you fake a portal placement on top of a survivor, it looks like a pickup animation, and again, you can mind game the pickup animation and bait Flashbang users out to try and catch somebody off guard, potentially. Demo has a better mind game ability on pickup versus Pig, just because his animation looks so fucking identical to picking up. So because of that, he's above Pig. Just damn near similar like pickup animation versus him picking up and placing portal. It's very fucking similar. So slightly better than Pig, but anybody above him, it just has better info or better chase. Now, Oni's M1, but he has the ability to snowball and insta-down. I don't know, but he's chopped right now, chat. I know he's chopped with his turn rate on his power, but aren't they gonna revert that soon? I'm pretty sure they're reverting the 360, no? But as of right now, his power is like chop, cheese, cheeks, booty, crack, awful. His power turn rate is awful, but it's still insta-downable. So he's not terrible versus like these killers. Realistically, going for a Flashbang save against Oni, it's either in power or not in power. So okay, let's put both into consideration, right? He's not in power, you know, he's just simple M1 killer. He either picks and you get the Flashbang save, or he baits you and you get tagged and you run away. Versus him in power, you try to Flashbang save in power, if you get caught, you're insta-down, or you just get the Flashbang save. So because of that, I want to say, damn, I don't think he gets quicker insta-down than Ghosty though, because Ghostface, normally you have everybody 99, right? So if he baits you, finishes stock on you, you're insta-down. I just think Ghostface has better insta-down capability within the small range of where you're trying to get the Flashbang save versus Oni. Like, I mean, Oni, he can pop power on you if he catches you, down you, and possibly slug. Okay, here's what I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna put him above Ghostface, and I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why I put him above Ghostface is because he has the ability to slug and get away with it, versus Ghostface, you can't really do that. You're just M1 and you have no mobility. So because of that, I'm putting Oni above Ghostface. Okay, Slinger. Slinger is one of those ranged killer situations, once again, just like Huntress. So just like Huntress, if you get caught, he has the ability to possibly 2-tap, but not only 2-tap, he can zone you. If he gets a shot off, and let's say he has like Cigar, but this is without add-ons, so let's just keep going on the same track with that. He can still zone you with power. He can bring you in with this chain, get the hit, reload, and do a possible 2-tap. With Huntress, you can't really zone people. You kind of just hit them with your hatchet and then they move forward, whatever. But with Slinger, because you can zone better, I'm putting Rum right above Huntress. Otherwise, he's just super easy to get a Flashbang save on. No difficulties there. It's just a matter if you get caught or not. Now, Pyramid Head. This one's kind of interesting, because if a Pyramid Head is paranoid about any type of save, right? He puts down his power. He uses Trail of Torment to mark an area of where the survivor is usually laying, and then goes for a pick. He does this because if a survivor steps into the ooey gooey spaghetti of the barbed wire that's in the floor, the survivor screams. So because of that, because of that screaming info, he is, I would say, somewhat high D tier just because he has better info than all of these other killers below, but it's not insane info, and his chase isn't that punishing. So he's definitely high D when it comes to info, but the real question is, does he have better info than Legion? I would say he does. Yeah, I'm putting Pyramid Head above Legion simply because he has better info ability than Legion when it comes to finding survivors or baiting survivors into an area. Because, you know, you bait them, they step in barbed wire, they scream, you know exactly where they are, they get caught, and then they have to run away, and then you get the pick for free. Versus where Legion, it's like a small percentage where they see your heartbeat when they're in frenzy. It's just a more common sighting to get Pyramid Head power versus Legion power. So that's why I put him right above Legion. Blight. Blight. Same idea with all the rest of the S tier killers, bro. Easy to flashbang against, but if you get caught, it could be devastating. You could get 2-tapped like crazy. Definitely better chase than Spirit. I don't think he has a better chase over Nurse and Billy, but you get caught, you get 2-tapped. Insane chase, but then again, still pretty fucking simple to flashbang save against. He's not crazy immune to flashbang saving. You just have to be paranoid, and if you catch somebody, you catch somebody. You don't, and then you don't. That's just how it works. Now, moving on to Twins. Twins is an interesting... I can't speak. Twins is an interesting killer for this type of tier list just because of Victor. And if she has Victor around the serve that she's picking, unless you're crouching, you're gonna give Killer Instinct to the killer, so she knows who's around, possibly lurking for a save. So she can get insane info with Victor, like insane info. Not even joking. Insane info with Victor. But she's not as punishing in chase if you do get caught. I mean, worst case scenario, she hits you and then, you know, she sends Victor after you and then she downs you with Victor, which is still pretty insane. And then she can slug, get the pick, and then she has a bunch of pressure. So this is a hard one because Twins has really good info when it comes to countering flashbang save users. Because of that, I don't think she has better info than Clown though. Because of that, she's right behind Clown. Low B tier when it comes to the countering flashbang users. You get insane info from Victor, so you can see where anybody is lurking unless they're crouching. That's the thing. If they're crouching, you're not gonna know. But if they're not, you get insane info. Or you can force them to move around, and if you're paranoid, you can look around. You catch them, you get hit, you send Victor, insta down. It's like damn near 2-top. So that's why I think she's low B. Low B. Insane info, good chase, all that stuff. Trickster has nothing to counter flashbang users when it comes to info, but his main event is really fucking deadly. If you get caught, you can get melted. You can get 2-tapped like crazy, and he's a ranged killer. So because of that, he can't really mind game a pickup, but like his main event is fucking insane. Yo, Yee, welcome back. I'm struggling on where to place Trickster because he's a ranged killer, but he can't really mind game a pickup like Pig and Demo. But at the same time, if you get caught trying to save against a Trickster, like you're kind of fucked. Unless like you have some sort of filler or jungle gym that blocks his knives. You know what I'm saying? I think he's better than he's just better than Pig and Demo. Like sure, he can't really mind game a pickup for flashbang, but if you get caught, it's like you're melted. You're just fucking melted unless you have insane cover. Actually, hold on. Now that I think about it, I think he's like right here. ID. Sure, he doesn't get crazy. Okay, actually, I might lower this actually. No, I'm putting here. I think I'm gonna stick him here. The reason why I'm sticking him there is because he doesn't have any info ability in his entire kit. His entire kit is all about knives. Like that's his kit. He has nothing in his power to where he gets info before the pickup. His chase is fucking insane. When it comes to close range, you're just like melted in seconds. But I don't think he's stronger than these 3 killers just purely off of info. Actually, matter of fact, because of that logic, I'm gonna put all the ranged killers above these 2. I think this is better when it comes to this type of tier list. Now, Nemesis, chat. Nemesis is insane. When it comes to flashbang users, Nemesis is pretty fucking insane. You wanna know why? Not only is he forcing survivors to grab syringes to possibly further prolong his infection rate, but when you're infected, your survivor is coughing, which makes noise, which alerts the Nemesis exactly where you are. So if you're going for a flashbang save and he hears that shit, you're kind of cooked. Also, zombies. The possibility of zombies popping out of nowhere when you're trying to flashbang save can give away your position And since Nemesis can see the aura of zombies, he knows exactly where you are. But he's not only insane because of that, he's also insane countering flashbang users because syringes are considered as a special item. And for those of you that don't know for some reason, flashbangs are considered special items. You know, you can hold special items with a normal item, but since syringe is a special item, you have to drop the flashbang, pick up the syringe, use the syringe, then repick the flashbang back up, which is a huge time waster. And because of that, because of all those reasons, he's definitely A tier. Top A tier. Counters flashbang users really fucking well. Really well. Not only does he force survivors to like cleanse, and he has crazy info if they don't cleanse, he's eventually gonna run out of syringes on the map. And you're just, you know, if you're infected, you're infected. You're gonna make noise regardless of what perks you have. You're gonna make noise constantly. So because of that, he's insane. Insane killer to counter flashbang users. Now, Pinhead. Pinhead has a really good chase ability when it comes to catching survivors off guard. But he can also use his chain for info. Like, if he's going for a pick, he suspects somebody's going for a save. He can use chain to check behind walls, behind rocks, all of that shit. He can get info with his chain, but he's not too insane if you get caught. And because of that info, I'd say he's top D tier, actually. He has better info possibility on searching the area with his chain versus Hag having a trap, Pyramid Head putting down spaghetti, Legion having a, you know, being in his frenzy, all of that. It's more consistent info than these killers. But then again, he's top D tier. He's not insane punishing chase if you do get caught trying to flashbang save a survivor. So because of that, he's top D. Artist. Huntress D tier is nutty. Hey, you gotta agree with me though, Blunts, because think about it. This is a killer tier list on countering flashbang users. We're going into detail, like breaking it down, every single detail. There's nothing Huntress can do for info pre-pickup. Keep in mind, pre-pickup, you can't, you know, get info. She can end a whole swift without reloading. That's the thing, though. This is, okay, keep in mind, Blunts, that this tier list is based off of killer power and killer power only. I'm not talking about specific perks. I'm not talking about specific add-ons. This is purely killer power. And assuming that the survivor is going for the save healthy. Death Slinger's being disrespected? Not even. These killers, okay, every killer below Legion has zero info. Zero possible info on detecting people nearby before they pick. That's why they are low D. But, depending on their chase, if you do get caught trying to flashbang save, it comes down to their chase. I feel like Huntress covers so much range it's too risky. I just wouldn't put her there. No, it's possible. It's definitely possible. The reason why I put Slinger over Huntress is because Slinger can zone, versus Huntress, if you get hit by the hatchet, okay, you hold W, right? Slinger, he hits you, he drags you in into the exact spot where he wants you, hits you, reload, and then, you know, possible 2-tap. Versus Huntress, you get hit, you hold W. These two are very close, but because Slinger can zone, that's why I have him above Huntress. Bubby should be D tier. Okay, so the reason why I have Bubba up here, low C, is because if you get caught, insta-down. If you get caught, it's insta-down. You can't go anywhere. Unless you have a pallet, you're done for. You're donezo. Depending where it hits hatchet, you can... I know, yeah, true. But Slinger can pull you in, that's the thing. Slinger can animation cancel, pull you in into wherever he wants you to be. Huntress, you have the possibility. Slinger, if you hit your shot, you have guaranteed zonage, because he drags you into exactly where he wants you to be. Doesn't Demo have Killer Instinct from portals? He does, but... realistically, would you go for a flashbang save if he's coming out of a portal? The main reason why I have Demo and Pig right next to each other right here is because they can mind game a pickup. And because they can mind game a pickup, that's why I put them above all these, you know, 5 other killers. It's so situational though. Like, this is if you get caught. Keep in mind, chat, keep in mind, I'm basing this off of info, right? If you have info to catch them before they go for a pick, then... you know, there's a chance you might get caught. And then if they don't have the info, then it comes down to the chase after you get caught trying to flashbang save. You see what I'm saying? Oni's kind of a 50-50 just because he either has power and he pops power when he catches you and he downs you, or he doesn't have power and he M1s you and you just run off. Clown doesn't have aura reading, he can put bottle. No, but he can check areas with purple bottle. If survivor screams, or if he throws a purple bottle on the survivor and he picks the survivor screams, not only do they scream, but they get hindrance as well. That's why Clown is up here. Insane info, but not only insane info, but insane countering. You can bait trap. Oh, yo, wait, that's true. Wait, Yeet. Yo, Yeet, you onto something. Yo, I like the way you think, actually. Because of that, I think, yeah, Trapper would be above Pig, no? Trapper has a better mind gaming bait pickup than Pig. Pig, you just crouch. Trapper, he's actually going into an animation. Yo, I like the way you think. True. That's true. But I don't think, but here's the thing. I don't think I don't think Trapper is more devastating than Oni, though. Same with Ghosty, he can crouch. Same, yeah, true. I don't think he's more devastating than Oni, though. Okay, let me shift this around real quick. This makes more sense. Oni, he has the potential to insta-down. So does Ghostface, but it's just better. He can slug. And then Demo, Trapper, Ghostface, Pig, in that order, by the way, in that order, is best at mind gaming a pickup. Give Slinger better rating for my big brain Trapper idea. I'm sorry, it's not how it works like that. Okay, I like it. This is a better switch up. Alright, finally, chat. Finally moving on to Artist. Artist, you can get insane info with birds on Artist. You can, besides cooldown, like after cooldown is done, you can get info, not only info from like cross map if they get hit with birds and whatnot, you know where the survivor is, but you can get, but we're talking about flashbang saves here, chat. We're not looking for cross map info. We're looking for that killer instinct info around the birds. You send the bird, you get killer instinct, which is kind of fucking rare if you're, you know, playing like a dumbass, because you're gonna crouch by a bird anyway. If you crouch by a bird and she sends it, you're not gonna get killer instinct at all. B, in my opinion. She doesn't have crazy info. She has the potential to catch flashbang users off guard, but I don't think it's crazy effective. So because of this, fuck, this one's hard. Because if you get caught in chase trying to go for a flashbang save, she's M1. Unless for some reason you get hit by a bird placed in a weird fucking spot and you get 2-tapped, which is a 1 out of 10 chance of happening. Legion can knock someone and instant frenzy for a killer instinct. Yeah, but then again, how often will that happen? Not often. It's pretty fucking rare. If a player knows exactly what Legion's kit is, you're not gonna go for that if you know he's gonna have killer instinct. Artist, this is hard. I think Artist is high D. I would say Artist is high D just because of the info. I don't think she... I think she's right here. Pyramida can make flashbangs completely useless with cages. That's true. That's actually true. That's very true. Oh man. That depends if they're infected though. High C? I kinda agree with you, but I don't think he's high C. I don't think he's high C though. Just because his chase, if you get caught, is not crazy punishing. If you have, and this is if they're infected, right? This is if they're infected, then flashbanging against someone getting caged is fucking useless. Just like you said. It's pretty easy to zone with his power and make people... Yeah, true. You know what, Yee? I think you're right. Honestly. Yeah, I agree with you, actually. I see. I definitely agree with you. Artist, though, I think Artist stays here. Big brain yeet! Alright, for real though, back to Artist, though. Artist stays here, without a doubt. She has the potential to gain info, but not crazy info. Her chase isn't as punishing. She doesn't really counter flashbangs that crazy. Like, it's just luck. It's luck with her birds, so... Because of that, I'm putting her right here. Alright, chat. We all know the answer. We all know the answer to Miss Sadako, the Onyro. Without a doubt, bro. Without a doubt. Fucking S-tier killer to counter flashbangs. S-tier killer to counter flashbangs. Let me tell you why. For some reason, if you don't know, let me tell you why. Good Onyros will constantly condemn survivors, right? And if you want to survive and get outs against an Onyro, you have to have a tape. 24/7. That's just a fact. Unless you want to die and sacrifice bang saves for the entire game, you have to have a tape in your hand 24/7. And because the videotapes are special items, you cannot hold flashbangs. You just can't. You can't put down the tape on the ground either. The tape is with you until you put it in the exact TV you're supposed to be putting it in. This killer is fucking insane when it comes to countering flashbang users. Insane. Completely negates the survivor from ever getting a flashbang if they're actually wanting to get out of the match alive. Completely negates the entire flashbang build. And because of that, Onyro is just fucking S tier, bro. Literally the best at countering flashbang users. That's actually, yeah, that's crazy. Yo, yeah, you know those times on stream, bro? You know those times on stream when it's an Onyro and I'm running a flashbang build, bro? You notice how I'm complaining 24/7, bro? Dude, you can't run flashbangs against Onyro. You can't. It's impossible. Unless you want to die. That's just how it is. Dredge is low C because it can pull you from locker. That's what I was about to say. So with Dredge, he can pull you from locker, but from my experience running flashbang against Dredge, it's actually not that crazy. I don't remember the last time I got pulled from a locker against Dredge grabbing a flashbang. Like, it's that fucking rare. It's really fucking rare to get pulled from locker when getting a flashbang. Like, seriously, it's really rare. But it can happen. Besides that, he's pretty simple. He has no info where survivors are when he goes for a pick, unless for some reason he has a remnant. He teleports back to the remnant, and then he gets killer instinct if anybody's, you know, around. But besides that, he's pretty simple. And his chase isn't that crazy if you get caught. Like, if you get caught, M1, run off, whatever, you right? You get healed, do the same shit over and over again. So, he does have good info with remnant, but this is assuming that every Dredge ever would place a remnant on a survivor, teleport back to get killer instinct for info, which is not that common. Lower than Hag? I'd say, honestly, lower than Artist. Because if you get caught with Artist, there's the potential of getting sniped with birds versus Dredge, where he's just M1. He does, however, have better info when it comes to Legion when he puts down his remnant and teleports back and gets killer instinct. But then again, how often do you see that? How often do you see that happening? Damn near never. He does have Nightfall, which makes you come white. Oh my god, and it's very easy to see. No, like, I mean, you can be hiding behind an object and he still can't see you. It's kind of the same argument when he's in Nightfall. Wesker is low-key tough, man. I want to see what you think. Okay. So, I'm glad you said that, because moving on to Wesker. Wesker has a special item called First Aid Spray, and this First Aid Spray gets rid of the Ouroboros that infects you after getting grabbed with power. He's not as strong as when it comes to Nemesis when negating flashbangs, because again, first aid bottles are a special item. You have to drop your flashbang in order to use First Aid Spray, and because of that, it's a huge time waster, you know, doing all this shit to progress in the game, basically. But it's not as punishing as Nemesis. When you're infected with Nemesis, you make coughing noises, which gives info. When you're infected against Wesker, you don't really make sounds. You can still go for flashbang saves when you're infected, and you know, you have perks like Iron Will, Light-footed, all that shit to still get flashbang save. I would say the thing that carries him in this tier list is the fact that he has an item in the game that makes you drop your flashbang. You can get caught in a throw into edge map and get insta 2-tapped. Yeah, exactly. That, and the fact that he can make you drop your flashbang if you want to progress in the game, so that way, you know, you can get outed and survive. So because of that, I'm putting him low A. He has the power to negate flashbangs, but at the same time, it's not impossible to get flashbang saves against Wesker while infected. And there is that insane 2-tap ability within close range. We gotta do more tier lists. This is fun. Hell yeah. How are you getting flashbang save if he uses power to grab everyone? You can't flashbang save that? Yeah, no. That too. Ender. Fucking smart. That too. If you get grabbed in the Ouroboros, you can't flashbang save against that. He's immune to blind. He's immune to blinds. Yo, good catch. Plus he got sunglasses, gives him style even if he gets banned. Yeah, no, Wesker is low A, without a doubt. Knight. He has the ability to, you know, pretty much wipe everybody that's lurking for a save with a guard placement. S? I don't think he's S though, chat. Here's the thing. When you're playing as Knight and you're paranoid about someone saving, you place a guard, right? And usually when the guard catches somebody, you insta-pick. Like, chat, hear me out. Chat, hear me out. Hear me out. Sure, you can get caught really fucking easily, but does that stop you from flashbang saving? You gotta think. You gotta think about it. What makes you think you can't save somebody and outrun the guard at the same time. It's possible. I've done that before, actually. It's possible. He gets insane info from his guards to counter saving, but you can still save the guy. You can still save him. His power doesn't negate flashbangs. It just gives him insane info. That's why I don't think he's S. I'd say A tier because his guards take a while and actually activate. The guards can find you instantly and they can chase you. Can cause a double hit. A or B tier. New Knight being able to send more than one guard, which protects him too much. But if he sends more than one guard, the first guard that he sent will disappear and the other one will stay. Therefore, it's still only one guard. So nothing changes there. If they find a guard, they don't pick and slug. Yeah, that's true. They could slug or they can't slug. Here's the thing though. His info is like, let's just get this out the door. His info is insane, right? He can catch anybody trying to go for a save. His info is insane. But, chat, do you think he's better than Wesker, Nemesis, and Onyro when it comes to having a flashbang in your hand? Because of that, I'm putting him low A. Low A. Under Onyro? No, I'm saying low A. There's nothing in his kit that gives him the ability to force survivors to hold special items. Onyro, no. Resident Evil characters, yes. Maybe above Wesker. I don't think he's a... maybe. I don't think he's crazy two-tap though. Knight? I don't know. Wesker's immune to blinds when he goes in power. Like, if you get somebody in power, he's immune to blinds no matter what. Knight has the possibility to two-tap, but if you play it right, you're kind of just taking a hit and running off. He can find you through walls. True. But still, I'm still stuck on the logic that his power doesn't force you to drop your flashbang. His power doesn't force you to drop your flashbang. Therefore, he's not stronger than Wesker. That's my logic here. Ew, Skull Merchant's next. He's above Wesker for me. I think he's right below I'd say these two are close. For sure, these two are definitely close. But simply because Knight can't force survivors to drop their flashbang, he's below Wesker. That's my reasoning. Alright, so moving on to Merchant. Wait, Pinhead makes you drop bang if you have the box? Yeah, but as a flashbang user, are you really going for the box? Let's be real. I don't think you're prioritizing box if you're running flashbang build. Plus chain hunts. That's why I have him high D, because he can have info through chains. He can like send a chain around, check if people are hiding behind shit. Who says your team's getting the box? Alright, so moving on. We got Merchant. Skull Merchant. Unless you are claw trapped, I repeat once again, unless you are claw trapped, she has no info. She has no info on you whatsoever. The only good info Merchant has is if you're claw trapped, because once you're claw trapped, she can see exactly where you are on the map. Now, this is a big if, big if, is if you have a claw trap or not. Depending if you have a claw trap or not, depends on the value you're gonna get from catching flashbang users. And how is it now, chat? I haven't seen a Skull Merchant in for fucking ever in DBD pubs. How common is claw traps now? Like, do people get claw trap very often? I haven't seen a Merchant in forever. I'd put her under Hag, but she has so much better info though. Okay, chat, if you can answer this question, this will depend on the placement of Merchant. How often does Merchant get people with claw traps? The way she can rotate drones is force trap is wild. She's still good. So, okay, based off of that information, I'm assuming, yeah, very often. Okay, because she gets claw traps very often, she has a better info chance of detecting where people are lurking for a flashbang save. So before she even picks, she knows exactly where you are. Then again, to say, if you're not claw trapped, then it's basically just like saving against every other, M1 killer. But her potential info on finding survivors is insane. But her kit's not as punishing. I'd say she's here. Below Spirit, over Freddy. Just because she has so much better info than Freddy. That's if they're claw trapped. But her chase is not insane. Like, her chase isn't better than these killers ahead of her. It's just not. You can also use claw trap in the drone for injury plus speed and save, which I've done before. You can use that to your advantage. I'm actually fine with that. I'm pretty sure we're all with an agreement that Merchant belongs here in the flashbang tier list. Now, Singularity, you think B? See, I don't know. Singularity is a hard one. It highly depends on your biopod placement. Depending how you have your biopod placement, You can scan the area around you before you pick. And a plus side, if somebody's slipstream, you can see the little like pink meatball floating behind the survivor's head. So that's like another visual cue that somebody's there. He's not impossible to flashbang like against. Like, it's not crazy. The best he can do is scan his area with a biopod, and if he doesn't see anybody, he doesn't see anybody. But it doesn't mean nobody's not there, right? So he's not crazy hard to get flashbang saves against. But then again, if you do get caught, it can be punishing. Significantly punishing. I'd say top of C tier or bottom B. Nah, I don't think he's as strong to countering flashbangs versus these guys. He does have crazy info though when he can scan around. So because of that, I don't know, man. He's definitely somewhere here. He's somewhere in C tier for sure. Oh yeah, you're right. Wait, Blunts, you're right. He has EMPs that forces you to drop bangs. You're right on that. He has EMPs that force you to drop bangs. Okay, wait a minute. Hold up. Blunts, you be cooking on some shit. Is he as annoying as Knight though? I don't think so. I think he belongs right here. Under Doc? I don't think so. I think he belongs right here. He's not as annoying as Knight, but he does force you to have EMPs. Above Plague? Yes. Let me tell you why. He's above Plague because EMPs are a thing. If you don't have EMPs, you know, he's gonna have fast chases no matter what. That's just facts. But it's not impossible to play without EMPs and get flashbang saves. That's the thing. I think Twins should be A. I wasn't here for that debate. The reason why Twins is low B is because you can get potential good info with Victor, but, big but, you can crouch to counter Killer Instinct. And 2, nothing forces you to drop your flashbang. And I don't think she has better info than Doc and Clown. She just doesn't. That's why I put her here. Also, if Singularity knows where to place his biopods, you're gonna have a hard time to flat. Yeah, exactly. Like, again, that's highly dependent on the biopod placement. Highly dependent on your biopod placement. Even so, if you're extra fucking paranoid for some reason, you can place a biopod around, you know, some shit where you're picking the survivor, scan the area real quick, and then you can force them to pick. Otherwise, they're dealing with biopods and getting rid of slipstreams with EMPs, forcing them to drop flashbangs, and then going back for their flashbangs and even wasting more time throughout the entire match. So, Xeno is another debatable one. Xeno, I don't think he's too insane. I've personally went against many Xenos with flashbang, and I haven't found it hard at all. There's nothing in his kit that will counter flashbangs, but there is the slight off chance of him coming out of a tunnel and getting Killer Instinct on you. But that's a rare situation. How often is that going to happen? I would say like maybe a 3 out of 10 chance of that happening. Otherwise, he's just like your basic killer looking around paranoid before he picks, and then you get the flashbang save, or you don't. And if you don't get the flashbang save, his chase isn't punishing. If you don't put turrets, easy 4k3 no saves, you're right. Turrets are a thing. But you're not gonna have turrets within your inventory damn near the entire game. Once you get a turret, you're going to want to put it down in the specific area instantly. Because if you don't, you're just chopped. You're walking around, you can't run. Turrets are a special item, but it's not crazy punishing. So, I don't know, man. He's weak. He's weak when it comes to flashbang users. Because his info is not insane. If you get caught, it's not as punishing. Sure, there's turrets, but it's really quick and easy to put them down. I don't know. I'd say his info is so weak, chat. His info is so weak. I don't think he's low C. I think he's right here. I think he's high D. I don't think he's low C. His info is so weak. It's so weak, chat. It's so weak. I mean, it's there, but it's so fucking weak. Matter of fact, nah. I think he's here. I think he's below Hag. Hag and Pinhead have better info reading on whether a survivor is around or not than Xeno. It's not that punishing at all. Alright, Chucky. Chucky's not difficult at all. He has nothing in his kit that identifies survivors around him before he picks. His chase can be devastating, but he also has nothing to force dropping flashbangs. Chucky's a snooze fest killer? Yeah. Chucky's pretty fucking simple. You get caught, you have the potential quick down, or you just get the save. It's that simple. I'd put him right here. Above Demo, below Oni. In the Myers area, I mean, his chase is decent. If you get caught, he has the potential to two-tap. So I don't think he's that crazy. I think below Oni, above Demo, I feel is appropriate for Chucky. Now, Unknown. Unknown can get somewhat info if he like randomly shoots a UVX on where he thinks the survivor is and get a weakened shot or something. But that's like, come on now. Realistically, are you doing that, or you're gonna be looking around trying to get a possible M1? Like, besides that, he's also another simple killer to flashbang save against. Nothing crazy. He does have the range potential though if you're weakened. And that's if you're weakened. He can injure you from a range. I'd say, damn bro. Unknown's UVX shot is small for radius, yeah. He's ranged, but he's like, I don't know, man. If you get hit with a weakened, you're not really gaining anything from killer side. They either stay weakened and you chase them later, or you know, you get the tag. I'd say he's right. Yeah. I'd say he's below Chucky. Above Demo, below Chucky. I think that's fair, chat. What do you think? I think that's pretty fucking fair. Below Chucky, above Demo. Feels appropriate. And then we come to, now this fucking killer, bald ass bitch. Vecna, bro. Vecna has insane info, bro. If he's paranoid on a pick, you know what he does. He does the little hand signals. He summons the bubble of information and he sends that bitch, bro. He sends that bitch. And if you get caught, you're caught. Nothing you can do about it. You can't get saved no more. Bye. Low A. His chase isn't punishing though. You get caught by bubble, you get caught by bubble. So what? You hold W, you hop on a gen, some shit. I don't know. His chase is not punishing at all. Worst case scenario, you get hit with skeletons and then you get M1 right after. But that's assuming he swaps skeletons after he just bubbled you. Catch a random skelly lurking from a bang save. Happens to me so much. Skinny Thanos. Skinny Thanos, bro. Alright, chat. Where are we putting Skinny Thanos? I feel like he's... I say he's right here, above Skull Merchant. I don't think he's high C, I think he's mid C. His chase isn't as sane as Spirit, Blight, Nurse, and Billy, but he most definitely has better info than Skull Merchant. Most definitely. Most definitely. He belongs there. I feel like that's appropriate. Now, Count Cockula. The only insane info that you can get from Dark Lord is if you're in wolf form and you can get sweat scent orbs from survivors lurking around. That's the only bit of info you're gonna get from this guy, is if you're in wolf form and you see sweat orbs. Other than that, he doesn't counter flashbang like at all. But fucking Count Cockula, somewhere D. I think he's high D as well over Chucky since his M2 is better. His M2 is better. I think he's higher though. I want to say his info isn't crazy, but it's good. It's definitely better than Xeno, and his chase is way better than all these killers. Let's be real here. If you get caught, you get M1 Bats, or M1 Wolf. You know, that's why Dark Lord, I believe he belongs right here, exactly where he belongs. Now, Hound Master. Y'all think low C for Hound Master? What? Yo, okay, let me educate you on something about Hound Master. Hound Master is an information queen. She has one of the most best info in the entire game. She sends her dogs out for a search and you can get hound sensed, right? Now, check this out, chat. If you're going for a flashbang save and she's checking around the area, right? She's paranoid. She sends the dog in chase form. You get killer instinct automatically. Dog has best HUD tech in the game, yeah. Not only is her chase like very punishing if you get caught, but she has killer instinct for when she sends the dog. Oh really? Yes. Yes. High competitive players do this. They send the dog out in chase mode. They wait. Anybody around the dog gets killer instinct. Anybody. They know exactly where you are. 24/7. Hound Master has crazy info. Crazy info. And if you get caught, you're fucked. She zones you with dog, right? She waits for her cooldown for dog to come back before hitting you out of the dog's mouth. Sends dog again, instant 2-tap. Above Slinger, I agree. I'd say she's low A. Low A for sure. Not as annoying as Knight, but her info is Her info is so fucking good. You can counter anybody saving with this person just by doing that. You send a dog, you get killer instinct, you know exactly where they are. And now, chat, we're on the last killer. We're on the final killer of this tier list. The Ghoul. Newest killer, the Ghoul, yes. Okay, so you're gonna be injured 24/7 against the Ghoul, right? But knowing Flashbang users, majority of the time, you're either running background player or Iron Will, one or the other. Or maybe even both, actually. So, injury doesn't matter too much, but if you get caught, you can get tapped up. His info isn't crazy either. The only time you get killer instinct is after he enrages you. Easy B+? I don't know. I don't think he's B+. Simply because his info isn't crazy. He has no info tools in his kit to identify where survivors are for a possibility of a save. But if you do get caught, you're gonna get tapped the fuck up without a doubt. So because of that, he's somewhere here. He's somewhere here. He's either above spirit or below spirit. And because spirit chases 50-50 versus Ghoul, you know exactly where he is. His counters isn't that impossible. He's right here. Take into mind how much pressure you can put on a team before you can get a bang. True. But we're talking about specifically bang saves here. We're not really talking about situations that could lead to a potential bang save. We're talking about the actual bang save that will happen. And because of that, I believe he belongs right here, below spirit. If you get caught, you can get tapped up, but it's not as crazy as spirit. Spirit's 50-50 versus Kaneki. You can counter him at pallets pretty fucking easily, I'd say. I think this is official, chat. I think this tier list is official right here. I don't think anything else needs to be changed. Next list killers, I'd backshot. Yeah. This is the final standings of this killer Flashbang tier list. Very, very fucking accurate, as you can see, made by a high Flashbang player himself, plus with the help of other Flashbang players. But yeah, chat, this is the tier list. So for all of you Survivor players running Flashbang builds, if it's B tier plus, good fucking luck on getting Flashbang saves. If it's C tier lower, have a fucking blast. And if you're a killer that's really annoyed by Flashbang users, now you know who to run. Just run these killers, and they won't be getting Flashbang
Next tier
saves.
list should be what maps are the best for flashbangs.
Ooh, I like that. Yo, I like that. I might do that. Good idea. But that's the tier list right there, chat. Easy.